It's been a minute. Hello. If you're new here, welcome in. If you're not, I'm so glad that you have come back. My name is Em of Em Asks Why. I'm going to be doing a WIP and Chat today. I know it's been a while, so shall we say? I'll get into that later. But so I was watching some of my favorite YouTube creators. So I was watching Katie, Diamonds and Washi, and Tiffany over at Diamonds and Tiffany's, and Natalie, Die Cook and Diamonds. And I've been watching their vlogs and their WIP and Chats. I was like, I need to just do it. I need to just make a WIP and Chat. Truly part of the reason that it takes me so long to make these videos is because I hate editing and I haven't figured out how to get around that. So YouTube creator friends, if you figured out a solution for editing woes, please hit me up. Let me know, because I just don't like doing it. And it's not even the video. What I don't like about editing is I don't like adding in the like front and end, and I don't like trying to sync up the music. So yeah, that annoys me. It annoys me because I can't just like drop it in and it works. You have to like play around with it, and that's very frustrating. I don't mind cutting things out of the video, like pauses or tangents or things that I'm like, maybe I shouldn't share that out on the internet. I don't mind that kind of playback and editing. It's literally the like finessing that I'm just like, this is annoying and this is stupid. It's not stupid. It's really not. But I don't like doing it. Anyway, hello. It's been a while. I know I already said that, but I'm saying it again. I'm working on duck bath. In case you didn't know. So this is duck bath. Here's my card. It's by Diamond Art Club. It's for the Art by Julia event, which Natalie over at Die Cook and Diamonds, Tiffany, Diamonds and Tiffany's, I think Michaela Renee. I think she's the third person in the Art by Julia event. Michaela, if it's not you, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But either way, they're doing an Art by Julia event. It's over on Facebook. Also, they all have launch videos about it. If you have an Art by Julia and you haven't started, it's not too late. Join us. Duck Bath is my one and only Art by Julia. And I hemmed and hawed about should I do it or not, because I wasn't sure if I was like ready, because it's Duck Bath, you know, and I got it on the second drop. I didn't get it on the Black Friday drop. I got it on the second, on the restock. I was like, oh, I've just had it. It's such a, you know, like a thing to get a hold of Duck Bath. Oh my gosh, it's my only Art by Julia. OMG. And I was like, no, this is silly. I'm just going to do it. I see this grid is driving me. I have mixed feelings. So I love the greens. Green is my favorite color. So I love all of the greens. However, it's all color blocking. The only thing that's confetti are the little outlines, which I am enjoying the like coloring book style of you do the outlines and then you fill in the colors. I'm enjoying that, but it's all color blocking. And y'all know how I feel about color blocking. It's not my favorite. It is squares, and color blocking squares bothers me significantly less. However, there's a whole section of this canvas like over here. You can't see it. This like window area here, if you know Duck Bath. So there's this big window here, and it's all color blocking of, I'm looking at my drills, of, where's that silly drill? Which one is it? I think it's this one. Yes, I think it's this one. Yeah. So it's this like beige. Wait, here, the colors are not coming through. Let me, maybe that's better. It's this like beige, which is not my favorite. So the beiges in this kit are shifted more towards the pink. They're not pink, but they're on the pinker side of beige as opposed to the yellower or browner side of beige. And that's hard for me. So anyway, it's fine. It's fine. I'm glad I'm starting at the top and working my way down. I'm just really dreading. There's this one huge section over here that I'm not looking forward to. I know it'll go super fast though, and that's what I'm telling myself, is that the color blocking is going to go super fast, and then I can be onto the other green things. I'm adding a few enhancements that it's basically just what leftover weird or green drills do I have that I'm adding in. So like right here, these little flowers, the center of these little flowers are leftover like Lumos drills, I don't know, from Jaded Gem Shop from the Spring Mystery. And so I added just a few here in the center of the flowers. And then I'm going through in places that I think where like the light is hitting or I want extra focus, and I'm going to add just a couple of enhancements here and there. So it's not super like I'm switching out this color for this color, like on a traditional enhancement set. I'm not doing that, mostly because I didn't want to wait for the enhancement kit to come in. So I'm also just like using what I have. This is my first time trying enhancements like that, so I'm going to see how it turns out. Fingers crossed. I'm hopeful it's going to look okay. I'll definitely be posting photos of this over in the Crafters Den Discord and also in the Art by Julia Facebook group, the event group. I'm not in an Art by Julia group, if there is one. Anyway. So that's where we're at with Duck Bath. I'm using my very favorite tray. Look at this. Look at this beautiful, beautiful thing. This is by Bijou Bliss, and my wife Taters got me this for Christmas. It's one of my favorite Christmas gifts. Butter. And like I make butter, so this is just very funny to me. Is it not edible? Don't eat it. It's a great tray. I really like the size. It's got it's a good lid. It's a good size to hold. I like that it's actually light with the dark lines. I don't know if I've ever had a tray. That's not true. I have another Bijou Bliss tray. But so I like the size with the light with the dark lines. It makes it easy to see. Most of the time, it does figure that for this kit, of course, there are drills that are almost the same color as the tray. Of course, I would do that. But I'm powering through, or on those rare chances, those other colors, I grab this Bijou Bliss tray, which I also love. I bought this for myself because this was their fall, winter, question mark. This is one of their mystery trays from, I think it was from fall. And I saw somebody get it. I was like, I need this because I love geese. Love geese. Love them so much. They're one of my favorite animals. So I saw this, so I bought it. And it's dark. The base is dark with the dark lines. So this is hard to use with some of the dark drill colors, but for things like this, super easy. So I have this off to the side. And then I'm using butter. My cover minder, Live Laugh Toaster Bath, because it's a duck bath. And also because like we're having a time, friends. The fun never stops. The fun never stops. So using that cover minder, my washi tape is from Simply Gilded. I'm using my DP pens. I forget who made this pen. Taters also bought this for me because it looks kind of like the earth. And it's got the roll stop, which is nice. So this one has my really big placer. So all of my pens have a different size placer in them. And so I just pick the one that is the placer that I want because I hot glue them in. So that's pretty much how I choose that. So I actually need to switch out my putty. The putty, this is a Randa's putty. It's, I'll show you the package. But the putty is starting to get a bit scrunkly. So it's time to switch it out. And then the wax. The wax. I was using... Oh, actually, no, I'm going to change. So for wax, I was using a We Wax, one of their scents. But I got annoyed. And I switched it out because I was having one of those overstimulated moments. And I switched it out for the pink wax, like the basic ass pink wax. And I'll be damned if it's not just so much easier to use the stupid pink wax on these silly miscellaneous drills that I haven't switched out yet. And I'm so annoyed because I want to use my fancy waxes, my specialty waxes that smell good. And it's the silly, silly pink heart wax that's like working. Okay, so let me tell you. So this was also a Christmas gift from Taters. She loves me. This is a new to me putty. Oh, I don't remember the company's name. It's like Fox something. Wait. She also got me. Okay. Faceted Fox Crafts is the main. So these are whisker whiffs, which is the cutest thing. These are scented dryer sheets, little itty bitty. These are dryer sheets and they're scented. It smells like Christmas time. It smells so good. But so she also got me a putty. I forget the name specifically of the putty, but so Snowdrop Glaze. I'm really enjoying this putty. It comes in a little bit of a weird container, but what I've been doing is just pulling out a hunk of it and then basically I roll it into a little line and then shove that in my multi-placer. And it's actually been working really nice because when it gets old, it just gets a little, it doesn't stick as well, but it didn't get, I'm going to need more. But it didn't get stringy or strange. So I've really been liking it. Would recommend and probably will. I'll probably get some more. Like I said, it's a little weird to get it out of the container. So I just use my tweezers to pull off a hunk of it. But also if you're filling it and you're like, I really only need like a little bit to fill a spot, it's easy to do that. I haven't tried multi-placing ABs with it, so I don't know how that works. But I know that multi-placing other stuff with it works just fine. So those are the tools that I've been using. Let me see what else. What else do I need to go over? It's been so long. So I went to Disney. The holidays happened. Disney was great. I went with Taters and my mom and my cousin, my adult cousin. It was Taters and my cousin's first time, whereas my mom and I have been to Disney multiple times. So it was really nice to just go with them and have like a girls' trip of it. It was exhausting, but it was so much fun. So I'm really glad that we got to go. And then Taters and I went to visit my dad for Thanksgiving in Costa Rica. My dad lives in Costa Rica. It's a long story, but essentially he self-selected to live there like 18 years ago, and he likes it there. So we went down to go visit him. That trip was not the best trip, mostly from like a family perspective. Like we're fine, but yeah, so we did that. Then Christmas, we were in between. So Taters' new job at the New to Her State Park, she spends her time there and then here and there. The new state park, new to her, it's been around for a while, is about 2 hours away. And so there's a park house that she's been living in, and I'll go and stay in too. Sometimes. So we split our time where I had to work Christmas Eve and the day before, and then she had to work the day after Christmas. So we just drove to the park house on Christmas Day and then like did kind of a split Christmas, and we saw my mom for brunch on Christmas, and it was honestly really nice and it was pretty chill. And then I had a number of days just kind of like to chill to myself. The house is called the Bat Cave, so I had a couple days to chill to myself up at the Bat Cave. I don't actually know why it's called the Bat Cave. I've yet to learn the lore. Like, there's not bats in the house, so I don't know where the term Bat Cave came from. Which, aside, anyway, spent a couple days there, so that was nice. Then worked New Year's because I work at a hospital, and so in my role, I'm considered an essential employee, which basically means that you don't get holidays off because hospitals never close. So you have to request off. So I requested off Thanksgiving this year. I took Thanksgiving off to go down to Costa Rica. And then I got Christmas Day off, but I worked Christmas Eve and the whole week of New Year's. Because my shift is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and all of the major holidays fell on a Thursday this year. So I was scheduled for all of them. Sometimes it just happens. Which working New Year's was fine. The people are unwell is what I will say. So I work in the emergency department and I work in mental health, and doing the job that I do, you get a feel for like how people are doing. Not even necessarily because when people come in crisis, they like tell you, oh yeah, it's the state of the world, but you can kind of get a temperature check on how things are going based on the crises that people are coming in for and like how many are coming in and what kinds of people are coming in. And I can just tell you that like the world is unwell. People are not doing well right now. And the population that I see a lot of are there's a lot of disadvantaged and oppressed groups that I see through my work. And it's just tough. It's a tough time. It's a really tough time. It has been for a while. I don't know what to do about it. I think about it a lot. I don't even know how much I want to talk about it on this channel because like I don't really want this to be a quote unquote politics free space because I think everything is political, and I live a very politicized life just by the nature of my existence, but I'm also not trying to like dump all the time. I feel like every time I do a WIP and Chat, I just end up being kind of a downer, and I don't. It's not why I want to do a WIP and Chat. Like I really don't. I want to just like talk and share my thoughts. But I'm the kind of person that when I think a lot, sometimes it's not always like happy. I have a lot of complex thoughts, and complex thoughts are not always happy thoughts, but that doesn't mean that they're not, it doesn't mean that it's not worth thinking. And I'm not saying that because I think like, oh, my thoughts are so special. Like, no. I mean that in the general sense for other people who are intense and deep thinkers, but sometimes are told, you know, keep it to yourself. It's like, I think we need to have these conversations, and we need to be able to have conversations about tough things and deep things in ways that aren't immediately shunted off into doom and gloom. Like we have to hold space for the duality and the dichotomy of the world. For example, so Taters and I have been figuring out, okay, so what are we going to do next? We're not going to stay in this house that we're in forever. Our lease is going to end and then we're going to move. But where are we going to move to? And how are we going to decide where to move? So the state we live in North Carolina. And so living in North Carolina right now as a queer couple is like, okay, it's not the best, but it's okay. But the question is like, when will it become not okay? Will it become not okay? Or is something going to be codified so that it is okay? Don't know. Can't tell the future. But at the same time, living here as a queer couple, we have a certain measure of visibility that's both positive and negative. And I think that needs to be talked about. The positivity and the negativity of being an openly queer couple in we'll call it a purple state. Even though it's not really purple, it's mostly red with little spots of blue. A polka dot state. We live in a polka dot state. So how long do we want to live here for? Or should we move? With everything being volatile right now, especially in the wake of Minneapolis, should we move? Should we move now? But Taters just started her job basically a couple months ago, and she's enjoying it. I could change jobs. But that's also the question is, do I change jobs? And I don't even know. I mean, I probably should with the move. Everything is very unclear. And so we're also kind of at the stage where like, I want to buy a house because I'm tired of renting and I want to have some more stability. And a way to do that is to own where we live. So we're not dealing with landlords. But if we were to try and buy a house now, it would be kind of a financial stretch. But at the same time, do we stretch ourselves now to have a place so then in a few years we are settled? Or do we keep renting for a few years because things are volatile? And that way, if we needed to move to a different state, we could more easily. And in the meantime, saving money. I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is. I don't think there really is like a right answer, so to speak, but it's very difficult to make a decision because there's so much unknown. But again, I think we have to talk about this. Because then there's also like, okay, so part of me, with everything being the way that it is, part of me just wants to stick my head in the sand and work on my little crafts and, you know, buy a house and garden. So that's one of my, anyway, garden and just like become really entrenched in the area, like the locality. Not really like the land. Like, I don't want to say become entrenched in the land for like I'm not an indigenous person, so I'm not trying to like say that in that way, but like I want to become more familiar with the local ecosystem, biodiversity. We'll say that. But does that mean then that I'm, foregoing influence? How much influence do I have? It's very muddled. Versus, do I stay in a job right now where there's some frustrating and confusing things that are going on that I have very little control over, but are big changes? And do I try and deal with that, or do I go to a different system where possibly it's the same or even more confusing? Or do I get out of the hospital system and just do something else? These are the thoughts in my head. Because I also think, okay, so if I were to, let's say, buy a house with taters and really focus on growing vegetables and making bread and really producing in that way, could I help feed my community better? Like literally donate food. And is that a good way to build the future that I want to see? Or is that just, rosy-eyed optimism and not really meaningful, tangible influence? Is there a better way for me to be having some kind of influence? Part of the frustration of this is that I am an American, and as Americans, we really like to feel like what we're doing has impact, capital I impact. And that's just not the reality of a lot of social change. Like, things take a while, and it's difficult to come to terms with that, especially when things feel so unstable. So what I mean to say is that I have some big decisions to make, and I haven't made them yet. And I don't also know, do I need to make them, or do I just kind of roll with it? Some people have said, well, just roll with it. You don't need to make the decision now. But I've always been the kind of person who is very in control of my life. And I do firmly believe that if you don't set a direction for your life, you're definitely not going to get there. Which isn't to say that you have to, just rolling with it is perfectly fine. You're going to have the possibility for a great life just rolling with it. You just have to know that then it means that you're kind of going with whatever is thrown at you. And I've never been comfortable with that. And maybe that's what I need to learn. Maybe I need to just go with it. But then, am I prepared? Welcome to the thoughts of my brain. There's a lot of what ifs. There's a lot of who knows. If this is stressing you out or making you anxious, I'm sorry. I don't mean it. I'm not. So that's the other thing, is I don't mean to talk about this in a way that causes anxiety. I talk about these things because I think there's more people who have these thoughts and these questions than have necessarily let on. And there's not always space given for the back and forth of a lot of decisions. And so I want to do that. I want to give space for the back and forth because that's how I feel kind of all of the time. So if you feel similarly, let me know. Let me know. What are some of the questions that you're going back and forth on? What are some of the decisions that you're making where it just feels like really hard to tell the future, but you know you need to figure something out. But what? Who knows? Let's see what else is going on. For 2026. So I did decide for 2026 that my goal, it's not really a resolution. It is just like a focus. My focus is going to be on gardening. Last year I started some seeds and the canvas is still, not the canvas, the plastic cover tore right here. And so I'm trying to see where does it end. I started seeds last year, which I've been growing a garden for a couple of years, like vegetables. And last year, everything got kind of wild and most of them died. I didn't get them in the ground. I did not have a good harvest this year, which is okay. Or in 2025, I should say. It's fine. I knew that was going to happen, so I'm not like distraught about it. But I really do want to focus on having a garden this year. It'll be mostly a container garden. And so I'm getting more prepared for that. Last week, I spent some time planning out all of the things that I want to plant. And that actually felt really good. I looked through one of the seed catalogs that came. I requested some other seed catalogs online. I'm thinking about, okay, what would I really like to grow? Both that I have grown before and that I haven't. What do I think we would eat versus what do I think I could like prepare or not prepare, preserve. And it was fun to come up with a plan and looking at, okay, so this is the time when I need to start these seeds. And then this is when they need to go in the ground, and basically having a couple different dates lined up of, this is the weekend that I need to do this. And this is the weekend I need to do this and put that in the calendar. And I really enjoyed that. So there's a couple seeds that I want to buy, and I'm still deciding like which company I want to buy them from. Which most of those seeds need to be started the end of February or end of March. So I have a little bit of time because I am going to start from seed, not from plant. But that felt really good to like do that work. What do I have going on here? I have one too many. I'm definitely going to do my tomatoes again. I love growing tomatoes. It's kind of like my thing. I don't know why, but it's just become my thing. I love growing tomatoes, especially cherry tomatoes. I have yet to have a really successful year growing large tomatoes, like slicer tomatoes or beefsteak tomatoes. I really struggle growing them, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I don't know if I'm not using enough fertilizer, which that's probably it, or I'm not pruning the plant correctly. I only grow indeterminate for the moment. I've not started to grow determinate tomato types, so I know that I'm not like chopping off the head of the plant. But I don't know, or if I'm just getting them in the ground too late. I really have not had success growing chonky tomatoes. But a cherry tomato? Oh my goodness. Prolific. I'm a prolific cherry tomato gardener, which I enjoy. It's fun, and I eat a lot of them, but they are more difficult to like preserve. You can't really turn cherry tomatoes into sauce without an obscene amount of work, which is not work that I want to be doing. So I need to up my tomato game there. And then I'd like to try what was the other thing? Oh, some peas. Again, I started peas last year, but like I said, I didn't get them in the ground and they didn't come up. So I want to try peas. I want to try pumpkins. I'm going to try growing peppers from seed. I've only done peppers from starters before because they kind of take a while to establish. But I think that with this plant, I have enough time. So I'm going to try growing 3 different kinds of peppers, 2 sweet peppers and 1 spicy, like a jalapeno. I'm going to try growing that from seed this year. Then what else am I going to grow? I think we're going to try a pumpkin. And I'm sure there was something else. Oh, some edible flowers. And then, yeah, I'm sure there was something else. I have a long list of things that I'm like, I want to grow all of this. And Taters is like, okay, are you sure? Which is the correct response. I have this dream too at the Bat Cave of growing a berry, either a raspberry or a blueberry. Because in North Carolina, those plants tend to grow fairly well, especially raspberries, and it's a rockier soil. So I really like the idea of putting in a raspberry bush. Oh dear. But also, that could be a lot. I've never grown fruit before. And I don't know if we're really going to like be there long term. So like, is this really the year that I want to do like a raspberry? I don't know. What am I doing? Come on. Oh, this is frustrating. This drill container is... Why are you like this? Oh my gosh. Okay. We're having a time. This drill container is overfilled. And I really thought I was going to be using enough for it to be less overfilled. And then the drills just keep getting caught in the spout and I'm just falling apart. I'm falling apart right now. Okay. This is maybe I have crisis resolved. What else am I going to grow? Of course there's 2 drills. Of course there are. Why wouldn't there be? I promise I like diamond painting. Speaking of diamond painting, I need to film more. I know I haven't filmed recently, and I'm really struggling with also like the accountability. I know I was talking about the editing in my editing woes earlier, but I also like with everything so up in the air, I'm having a really hard time setting a schedule and then like keeping that schedule. So for those of you who do this regularly or do anything regularly that's like self-driven, how? Please share. Tell me how. I need an accountability partner for making content because I do want to. Not because I like want to become an influencer or anything like that. I like doing it. I want to film 2025 year in review. I really want to film my 2026 goals. And I wonder if I can't decide, should I do those as one video or should I do them as 2 separate videos? Like a transition from 2025 to 2026? I think at this point I probably should because it's already a week into the year. But I want to talk about my diamond painting goals and a little bit about like other life goals. And I want to show my logbook updates because I've never done a logbook walkthrough on the channel. And I'd like to do that, like a little one, as part of the goals. And then what else do I want to film? There was something else that I was thinking about filming. I don't have any, like, I don't really want to do an unboxing. That's not really, I'm not a big unboxing girly. I like watching them, but I don't love filming them. I've thought about trying to do post reviews the way Lizette from Lizette Crafts and Tells does them. So maybe I'll try that this year. I'm very behind on tag videos. I know Natalie tagged me in a few, and I know there was like a winter scavenger hunt that Tiffany mentioned that I need to go find, because my stash is big enough now that I think I could actually participate in a scavenger hunt video. Yeah, so that would be fun. So I want to film that. And then, of course, now that I'm talking about it, my brain has gone completely blank. I did make a little list in my planner of like, these are the videos that I want to film. And so now I need to like film them. Haha. We could do pet updates. So the dog's doing great. Took them over to my mom's today, ran them around. They're exhausted. They are now passed out on the bed, which is great. It's great. Sleepy dogs are good dogs. So they were already like super, like not quite overstimulated, but energized, I should say, enriched. They were super enriched just by going over to her house, because she's moving not far. She's moving just down the road, but she's moving. So they've pulled everything out. So everything smells different and everything looks different. And so Rain, who's very driven by her nose, she's like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So she's going around smelling everything and is having a great time. And then we went to the dog park, and it was a happening day at the dog park. And I was so proud of her, baby girl Rain. She made friends. She actually made friends with 2 dogs. She's normally so anxious and is a little unsure about actually making friends. She kind of just wants to watch the other kids on the playground and maybe be the play police. Sometimes she likes to be the play police. But today she went up and she made friends, and it was great. Storm was his usual derpy self. He made friends too, did his big perimeter check. So that was stimulating. And then we went back over to Mom's and they got to smell things again. So yeah, they're exhausted. So we all came home, had lunch, like a late lunch there. And then came home, and immediately all of us passed out. Me too. Like I was also overstimulated just from like everything. Like social gatherings are pretty overstimulating to me these days, even like low stress ones, which I wanted to go to this. I had a good time. But so we just immediately all passed out on the couch, took a 2-hour nap. They're still sleeping. Oh, and yesterday, so a friend of mine's birthday was today, and yesterday he had a little party shindig at his place, and I haven't seen him in a minute. And normally I don't like going to these things by myself, because like I said, I get overstimulated at parties easily, and they're hard for me. It's the tism. The tism is real. Tism is tisming. And I don't know how to like be at parties where I don't know people. I'm not good at small talk. It's a lot of masking. I don't even really know how to like have like normal conversations, so to speak. I don't know. It's very hard for me. I do kind of get in my own head about it. People have told me that like, you're fine. So the mask that I put on is okay. It's just, it does take a lot, but I really wanted to go because I hadn't seen this friend in a while. I missed him, and it was his birthday. So, but because Taters is out of town this weekend, normally she's my social buddy because she's great. She's great in social situations. She knows how to be. She can make friends with a frog. And she just, yeah, she's really charismatic and engaging. It's part of the reason I married her, is because we can balance each other out. I will say something like weird and deep, and then she will balance it out so that the conversation continues to flow. She's wonderful. But I really like this friend, and I haven't seen him in a while, so I did go. I was very proud of myself. It took a lot out of me. It was fine. The time was fine. It was just like at his place. So there were people there. I talked to people that I didn't know. Had some pretty, brief standard party conversations with them. So yay, proud of myself for doing that. but that I was, a little tired. So I came home and immediately like went nonverbal. And, but so that yesterday coupled with the outing of today, I was like, I need to take a dead nap. So I did. It was great. It's been just me this weekend. Taters is on a long work stretch. So she, we haven't been away from each other for a long time, for like an extended period of time for a while. This is going to be one of the longest times. It's going to be about 8 days. It's hard. It's hard to do. And I tend to notice it more like when she comes back, just because of like how I am as a person. I don't always notice the differences when I'm in it, but then when she returns, it's like, oh, I feel better now. I just feel better. I do feel it at this point. It's been almost a week that she's been gone, and I know the dogs feel it. I know they miss her a lot. When we came home today from Mom's, they immediately went and looked around the house because they're like, oh, is she here? And it broke my heart a little bit because no, she wasn't there. They went looking for her. So I know they miss her. Barnacle misses her. Yeah, so having two houses is hard. Anyone who's ever done that, been in a long distance relationship / a relationship with two houses, you know that it's tiring. So she comes back, I think on Wednesday is when she's able to come back. So we're all looking forward to that. It'll be really nice to just like be together. The dogs always get really excited when it's both of us together at home. The whole family's there. Update on Barnacle. So Barnacle, we noticed, when did we first notice? Taters thinks it was early November. I think it was later than that. I think it was mid to late November, but maybe not. We noticed that his eyes weren't really dilated. They were overly dilated. They weren't constricting as much. Like his eyes were dilated a lot more. And we're like, that's strange. And so we're looking at it, but with Thanksgiving coming up and everything, we were like, okay, well, let's just keep an eye on this. And then, okay, Thanksgiving goes by. So early December, we see, okay, like it's not getting better. If anything, it's getting worse. But then she had to do a ton of back and forth for work, and I was busy with work, and we just couldn't get him to the vet. There wasn't a time that we were like, okay, we can get him to the vet. So we brought him in to the vet on January 2nd is when we finally were able to get there. And by that point, I was like, I think he's losing his vision. I think he's running into things. And so we took him to the vet. So the vet told us last week that, yes, he is losing his vision, if he's not already completely blind. That he seems to have glaucoma, and they don't really know why yet. He does have FIV, so it's possible that he has glaucoma secondary to some other kind of FIV flare-up. So I've been giving him eye drops the past few days, and I'm taking him back to the vet tomorrow to see like what, if any, influence the eye drops are having on him, as well as to hear like, is there any update? So they did blood work, and one of the markers for blood pressure, I think, was up. And the vet was saying that he needs to have his blood pressure tested, and she wants him to have an echocardiogram. Which, like, okay, that's a lot. That's a lot to take on. I've not scheduled the echocardiogram yet, but we are taking him into the vet tomorrow, so I'm going to ask them to do the blood pressure test as well as check his eyes. And we'll start there. So they don't really know why he has glaucoma, but it's in both eyes, which is part of what took us so long. It was like, figuring out, like, is this really happening? Or like, are we imagining this? No, we're not. It's happening in both eyes, which means it's probably systemic. So we're very worried about him, and we feel quite guilty about not taking him in sooner. He seems fine otherwise. Like, he's eating, he's drinking, he's walking around, he's still getting around the house fine, but he's not playing as much. He's not quite as vocal, but he's still affectionate with us, with the dogs. He's still friendly. I think the reason he's not playing as much is because he can't see his toys, but he is like scratching on the scratching post. He's using the litter box normal, but it's sad. He's 11 years old, which isn't super old for a cat, but he's also not necessarily a spring chicken. But we hope that they learn something tomorrow after giving him the drops. But also, let me tell you, giving a cat eye drops on your own, a solo person giving a cat eye drops is quite a challenge. The only thing I have going for me is that literally the poor kid is blind, so he can't see when my hand is coming in with the drops to give him the first set. Like, oh, you poor thing. But also, I need to be able to do this. So I can get one eye, and then he like freaks out, understandably so. And I have to kind of like wiggle him in to get the second eye. But then, so I'm giving him 2 different medications, and they say that you need to wait 5 minutes in between giving them. So traumatize the kid once, wait 5 minutes, traumatize the kid again, and then repeat every 12 hours. It's terrible. The poor kid. Like, I feel so bad for him, but like, you can't even explain to him, hey, yeah, you know how you can't see? My bad. Here, let me try and fix that. Like, it's just, nobody's having a good start to the year. I hope that this is the majority of the nonsense that this year has, and that we're just getting it out of the way. You know, just get it all out. Okay. Pass it on, and then we're done. That would be great. That would be great. Let me see. But yeah, otherwise he's doing okay. Barnacle is. So keep your fingers crossed for us that they figure out what's going on and that I'm able to schedule an echocardiogram. We asked a vet friend of ours, because our vet said, which we like our vet, we do trust them. And they said that they have a radiology team that comes by like once a week or something. And so we could schedule it to bring him in, which like, oh God, when is that? And my work schedule is so wild, and Tater's is so wild. Like, oh God. And the vet friend said, don't do that. Just go to a cardiologist. Like, there's a cat cardiologist in this town near you. Just go to them, because then your cat already has a cardiologist and you can schedule it. And I'm like, okay. It's a little bit more expensive, which is the one thing I've been nervous about. I think we can afford it. I don't know what will come back if they say, oh, here are these other like 10 health problems associated. I don't know what we'll do. I think we can afford the echocardiogram, so I need to just schedule it. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow, because tomorrow's Monday. I'm filming this Sunday evening, if I didn't already say. So I need to just do that. And then, yeah, keep your fingers crossed. What else? This is empty. Why am I doing that? With this kit, the funny thing about this kit, so there's really not that many colors. There's 30 colors, but it's also a big kit. So you can't see it, but in my lap, I have one of the Diamond Art Club boxes, and I have the rest of the canvas rolled up, sitting in the box with then the extra drills underneath it, just sitting in my lap. I've never done this like this before. I wanted to see if it bothered me. As long as I'm not wearing shorts, so I'm wearing like pants, like fabric where I have a blanket on my lap, it doesn't bother me to have it there because it's not heavy. So I'm going to try this for a little while. And it does make it much easier for me to shift the canvas back and forth as I work on it, typewriter style, because I work, across and back. So that's working out at least. So I didn't pour all of the drills into containers. I just poured enough to fill 1 or 2 containers. I'm using an art dot set because it's what was available. And I know Ashley of Messy Girl Crafts, she'll kit up kind of like this. And I think she pours all of her drills in, but I was worried that I'd like lose track too easily of the colors. So I have just still a bunch of bags left over. And then as I run out, I will refill. Which I've not run out yet, but I'm getting closer on some of the colors. Like the outline color, this dark blue. It looks black, but it's a dark blue. That outline color, I'm running low on. This white, it's not white, this beige, sand, tan background color. That's like the background of all the windows. Like this is a window right here that you can't tell right now, but it's trust. That color I'm running low in this container on. I don't think I'm running low on the drills, so I just need to refill the container soon. But otherwise, this seems to be working. Let's see, what else do I have kitted up? I have Moonlight kit up. That's at the Bat Cave. It's a, oh gosh, Larry Jones kit. It's my only Larry Jones kit. I bought it when I first started diamond painting. And I kind of had this like, it was kind of a panic buy. I don't know why I bought it. I had it and I got it and I thought I liked it. And then the more I looked at it, it was like, I don't know. It seems really dark. What have I done? It's a square. I don't know. I thought about destashing it, but nobody really wanted it at the time. I didn't push the destash very hard, but I couldn't figure out what to do with it. But then when Taters went to the Bat Cave and I went, I was like, well, actually this kit could like fits the vibes because it's like a cabin with bears and owls. Like it's called Moonlight. So it's a night-ish scene in fall. Well, I was like, okay, let me have that be my Bat Cave kit. So I took some Elizabeth Ward containers and I kit that up last time I was there, 2 times ago. And set up a little like diamond painting station in front of the TV. Like bought a little folding table. Living my best life in front of the couch. And I'll be damned if that kit doesn't actually have tons of color. Like it's a nighttime kit, but the colors are really bright and really rich, really saturated. A ton of reds, a ton of blues, like hardly any grays, some browns, but I don't mind diamond painting browns. And the colors are beautiful, just beautiful. And some of the trees like with the leaves, they look really nice. And I've been having a great time working on that kit. I've got the first row done, I think, and it's like a 70 by 90. So it's a hoss. And I'm having a great time with it. I was like, of course I am. Of course I am. It figures. So I'm glad I didn't destash it. But I was like so in my head about this kit. And now that I've started it, I'm like, well, this is actually a lot of fun. So I'm working on that. I have that kit up. Then I have this kit up. And I still have that Christian Reese Lassen Eternal Embrace kit up from, I think, the last WIP and Chat. I stopped working on it because I started working on like drills and chills and a bunch of other stuff. And so that's still hanging in the closet. I want to work on it. I don't know how you multi-whip people do it. Like I feel like it's so hard to find the time to work on anything, let alone multiple whips. Like I'm such a slow diamond painter. I'm like, how do you get anything done? I don't understand. When do you have the time for this? Like, please tell me, how do you successfully run a YouTube channel where you like consistently create and post content? And how do you get through so many whips? Maybe these things are connected. Maybe that's my problem, is that I haven't like connected the dots. Who knows? So sound off in the chat if you know, if you have the solutions, please share. because a girl needs to know. So I still have that, and I want to work on it. I think for this year, I'm going to have, I'm going to try and have 2 WIPs going. I'll have like a WIP like this, and then I want to have a big one. So, because I have a lot of big kits in my stash. Because I love a large square. I do. All of the designs I love are large squares, and I really don't mind working on them. Like, I don't at all. I think they're fun. I think they're pretty. I don't mind the confetti. It's just they take a while. And my stash keeps growing, which is a problem. That is a problem, that my stash keeps growing, because I don't want to take up that much space. So the other thing about the Batcave is that it's quite small. It's not a large house. It's very cute and very comfortable. I like being there, but it's not big. It's a lot smaller. It's a third smaller than the house that we're in now, which we haven't filled up this house. This house is too big for us. I don't like how large it is, but still living in the Batcave, which we're thinking about doing at least short term, is going to require a downsize. And so I'm like looking at all my stuff. I'm looking at my crafts. I'm looking at my diamond art kits, and I'm like, there's a space problem here. So we already know we're going to rent a storage unit for some of our furniture and other like Christmas decorations and things. So we already know we're going to do that. And I'm trying to like come to terms with the idea that I'm probably going to be putting a chunk of my stash in the storage unit, which intellectually is fine. I have no problem with that. It's emotionally when I get down to thinking about how the hell am I going to pick which kits to take with me and which kits to put into a storage unit. Which, like, okay, we'll have access to the storage unit. We can go and take things out, but like that's a whole other step. And I'm struggling. I think I'm going to put most of my yarn in the storage unit because I don't work on a lot of knit projects in the summer. I'll probably keep like 3. No, I don't even know. It's so hard for me to predict what projects I'm going to want to knit. I'm very much a mood crafter, especially with knitting. Like it's anytime I try and plan out, I'm going to make this year, it never happens. So I've stopped planning that. So I think I'm going to put my yarn in the storage unit because my yarn is also like packed up pretty easily. So it would be easy to store. I have it in, I think we're down to 2 containers. So I'll probably store that. I'll store most of my cross stitch stuff because I have an active project that will take me a little while. So I'll keep that out. It's the Flower Dragon Meadow. I haven't made a ton of progress on that, so I'll keep that project with me. And then there was one other cross stitch project I was working on. Oh, the temperature chart. I could bring that with me because cross stitch is small. It's easy to store and easy to move. It's these diamond art kits. And I keep them in the original boxes. I know that I could take them out and put them in containers and they would be smaller. But I don't really want to do that. And this is very much first world problems. I'm deciding what diamond art do I want to take with me and what do I want to put away. It's like deciding, okay, I'm not going to work on this year, most likely. So it's like, okay, I think I'll have space to take some with me. So I could probably tell myself, okay, why don't you take 12 kits with you? Not that I'm going to get through 12 kits that quickly, but I could take 12 kits with me and then put the rest in storage. And that's a lot of choice. That's a lot of choice, Em. That's a lot of choice. 12 kits. That's still, it feels like choosing your children. Tell me someone else out there understands. Tell me that somebody understands, like, the emotional attachment. Like, what do you mean I have to put them away? I just like having them. I like looking at them. I like organizing them. Can you tell I'm autistic? But it's my stash. If I just sit and look at it, it brings me joy. It regulates me. But I just don't think we're going to have the space. I think I'm going to want the space for other like life things like towels and cleaning supplies and like my clothes. I know I have to go through, this is something I'm going to do tomorrow, is I'm going to go through and purge a bunch of my clothes tomorrow, which that's fine. Like I need to do that anyway. It's the time of year. I've been really focusing last year on like wearing what I have and not buying clothes. And I did a really good job last year of not buying clothes. I bought a couple things to like fill gaps in my wardrobe and I wore them. I wore them a lot. And so I'm going to keep doing that. That really like the only clothes purchases I make this year are to fill gaps. So I feel good about that. I don't have a ton of sentimental attachment to clothes the way I do my crafts. And then I also need to purge my cosmetics tomorrow. Whoa. Come on, Red. What are you doing? What are you doing, Wax? These are ABs that I'm placing. So apparently they just want to eat the wax. There. I need to purge my cosmetics because I think some of them maybe have expired. Or it's just, you know, simplify. It's time to simplify. Because I've reached a stage where I'm really kind of gravitating towards the same few products. And I like how those work. And I more or less like how they look. There's a few, like I need a better foundation and I'm about to run out of my tinted moisturizer / BB cream. I'm really about to run out of it. So if I run out of that, I'll buy a new one, but otherwise I'm not buying any cosmetics this year. And I don't think I bought any last year. If I did, it was like one thing. So I feel pretty good about that. And cosmetics don't take up a ton of space, at least not what I really don't have that much. So it doesn't take up a lot of space. But the bathroom at the Batcave is still, it's quite small. It's a 2-bed, 1-bath. And the bathroom is snug. So we don't have a ton of space. I want to do the purge on it anyway. The kitchen is quite large. And we did a big purge before we moved this time of our kitchen stuff. So, and we didn't acquire really any kitchen gadgets this year, which is great. But 2025, I should say, we didn't acquire a lot. So I think I could do one more purge of just like really like what are the things that we're not using. We're just not using them and it doesn't make sense to move them. I think there's 1 or 2 things we might put in storage from the kitchen, like some dishware that I inherited, like that kind of thing, like stuff from my grandma, sentimental stuff. But the rest of it, I'm like, no, it's going to go. Yeah. So the kitchen, I'm not worried about. My books, I am a little worried about my books. I have a lot of books. I have so many books. I haven't talked about books at all this WIP and Chat. I have a ton of unread books. Books is where I am. What should we say? I have overconsumed. I have over 100 unread physical books that I have collected through the past few years. And I do want to read them. I really do. I'm interested in them all. Most of them were not even really like impulse purchases. It's like things that I've seen on Instagram or someone else that I trust that's like talked about it. And it's like, yeah, I really want to read this. And I am a fast reader. Well, I'm a slow diamond painter. I'm a fast reader. The hiccup to this is that I don't like audiobooks, because I know someone's going to suggest it. I don't like audiobooks. I have tried. I don't like how they sound. It's the literal sound of audiobooks. It's something about how they're recorded. I don't like it. It's very difficult for me to follow. I mostly listen on Libby. So I did a little bit of Googling, and some people feel like it's the audio quality of the Libby app, that because it's a library quality, like they compress it so it doesn't take up as much data. But I also have listened to Audible books, and I don't like the way they sound either. It's just something about book recordings, because I don't have this problem with podcasts. I can listen to podcasts for hours on end, and I do listen to podcasts for hours on end, but I don't like audiobooks. It doesn't make any sense to me. But so what I was saying was that the problem is that the books that I have that I want to read, they're nonfiction, and nonfiction books take a long time because you read them and then you think about them, and they're usually kind of dense, kind of stuff I like to read anyway. It's all stuff I want to like learn about and ponder and like consider. So I don't go through them very quickly because they're books that aren't meant to be consumed quickly. So you see my conundrum. So most of my books I'm going to put in storage, which I feel a little bit better about, because I can take like 20 books with me, and it'll be easier for me to pick like 20 books. And also, if I get the urge, if I'm like, I just need something new, I can check something out from the library. And I do that. When I feel the drive for novelty, I'll just go to the library and check something out, because I'm not buying it. The book has to go home. It has a home to go to. So that works for me, even though I have so many unread books. I'm really trying to read from my shelves. So Lizette Crafts and Tells, she's doing like a refresh your stash challenge this year, which I'm sort of participating in. I'll talk about it more whenever I film my 2026 goals. I'm sort of going to participate, but most of my stash isn't that old. So I'm not as stressed about like older kits. It's more just like, okay, am I continuously diamond painting, and am I diamond painting faster than I'm acquiring, which I did not last year. So let's see this year. But anyway, I do want to like refresh my shelves. I want a shelf down 2026. So I need to read from my shelves and reduce that number. So I'm going to pick a chunk of books to take with me to Batcave, read from those, and then I can go to the storage unit and get more. For some reason, that stresses me out less than trying to pick what kits to keep with me. I don't know if it's because I read faster than I diamond paint, maybe, or I don't know. I don't know what it is. Brains are strange. Being a person is strange. If you have thoughts on this, please share. Let me see. I probably should wrap this up. So what have I been reading? So we can do the weekly report. So R for reading. I've been reading a good book. So I've been reading, it's called The Quiet. Oh gosh, now I can't remember what it's called. The Quiet, Despair? No. Oh, shoot. And I don't have my phone in here. Wait, maybe I can look it up. Look at me using my brain. There's a computer right in front of me. The Quiet Damage. That's the book. The Quiet Damage, QAnon and the Destruction of the American Family by Jessalyn Cook. If you're new to the channel, you should probably know that I read things that make me not fun at parties. I read things that other people think are heavy topics. Although related to that, so I went to the party yesterday and I took some books because my friend was a friend from social work school. And I knew this, like, well, if there's anywhere that people are going to be interested in the things that I read, it's going to be at this party. And if not, I don't know what I'll do with them. So I took some books that I was trying to like pass on. And sure enough, people took them. They were like, yeah, these sound interesting. I was like, great. I knew this was the right call. So there are people out there who read the kind of books that I read. It's just hard to find. But anyway, so this book, The Quiet Damage, it's about QAnon and the QAnon phenomenon. And it's told by following the stories of 5 different people who were impacted in some way by the QAnon tragedy. And it's been very interesting. So I learned about this book when it was in ARC. I did not get an ARC copy of it, which is fine. I wasn't selected, which okay. But I knew that I wanted to read it, and it was on mega sale over the holidays. So it was like, oh, bet. So bought it, and I was like, I want to start this immediately. So I did. It's very good. I'm really enjoying it. It's clear that the author is a writer. Sometimes what happens with nonfiction books, especially books about current events or close to current events, is that investigative journalists write a book about the thing. And while they are great subject matter experts, they don't always know how to write a book. And you want to write a book differently than a journal article. It follows a different pacing, a different structure. And sometimes for investigative journalists, that's hard. So the book feels a little disjointed. I am not having that experience with this one. Jocelyn Cook, she knows what she's doing, writing the book. The stories that she's telling, they're interesting. She is writing it very accessibly, and she's really capturing a lot of the emotional devastation of the people who lived through this and their loved ones, which is hard to do. It is hard to capture that emotional impact in a nonfiction book. And she's doing it quite well. So I'm really enjoying it. And she's really laying out how these people got sucked in to the conspiracy theory, and how and people from different aspects of life got sucked into it and where it took them. So I haven't finished. I'm 40% of the way through. Really, really enjoying it. So if you are interested in cults, if you're interested in political movements, if you or someone you know was really impacted by the QAnon conspiracy, I would really recommend this book. I think it will be a hard read, especially because it was so recent, all of the things that she's talking about. I remember where I was during those years and what I was going through. And so it is still quite fresh in the mind, so to speak. She wrote it right after, I think, Biden got elected. So it was after Trump's first presidency. And so reading it now at a year into his second presidency is very interesting. And it brings up some questions about, okay, so where are these people now? And how has this movement changed? How has this ideology changed? I haven't finished the book, so maybe she answers this in the book. I don't know. But it raises questions about, okay, when we think about some of the political people who are in power now, who either were or were not around in the first administration, and how much does that factor into what QAnon was? And I think a lot about, so part of the reason QAnon took off the way it did was during the pandemic. People lost their sense of purpose and they lost their sense of function. And QAnon really gave them a sense of accomplishment during a time when everyone felt very powerless. Whereas now what we're seeing more is around the cult of personality rather than the cult of conspiracy. And I just think it's an interesting change that I'm going to be mulling it over as I read about how the people who previously were quite into those thoughts maybe have Have they left the movement or not? Or have they simply like moved the goalpost with what they are believing? Because you don't hear about it much this time around. And I think there's a lot of the beliefs that have, we'll say, died down. But some of that emotional turmoil and the emotional drive is still quite strong underneath. That hasn't been resolved. We've not come out of the woods. So where did that go? Some of it may be that people are now able to work where they couldn't before. But at the same time, there's a lot of stuff going on that makes it very difficult for people to still feel a sense of agency and control in their lives, especially when we look at the economic impact of what's going on. So I don't think the saga is done. I think there's going to be something else, which I'm not excited about that. Let me say I'm not a fan, which also, if anyone's unclear, I do not support any of that rhetoric at all. If you want to talk to me more about that, I am very happy to do so. Ping me on Discord and we can have that discussion, because I have a lot of thoughts. I've thought about this a lot, and I'm just choosing my words carefully for a video on YouTube. But so that's what I've been reading. Eating. What did I eat recently that was tasty? Or what have I been? Yeah, what have I eaten recently? I feel like there was something. Eating's hard. So, I don't know if anyone else is like this. So I have the branch of neurodivergence that when I'm left to my own devices, I just don't eat. Cooking can be hard from an executive function standpoint, and I'm just like, nope, well, I'm just not eating. Whereas some people, like my wife, they'll just do takeout, and I'm just like, nope, I just don't eat. This is not healthy. I do not recommend it. It's a form of disordered eating. I cannot condone my actions. It's just where I'm at. So I did manage to cook for myself this weekend, and I was very proud that I did it. So I ate like a chickpea bowl situation, made enough for 2 meals. So I ate it twice. So that's what I've been eating. It wasn't the most delicious thing I've ever made, but it also wasn't terrible. Playing. What have I been playing? I haven't been playing any games recently. I've been really just crafting. I've been watching YouTube's, been trying to catch up on a lot of the holiday content. I got really off track during the holidays just because with the back and forth, everything was so wild that I didn't have a lot of time to watch the YouTubes that I normally do. Oh, and I forgot my headphones. I thought I had lost them. No, it turns out I forgot them at the Batcave. And so I haven't been able to watch things at work, like in the background, the way I normally would, is just have something playing in the background while I'm documenting. Can't do that because I didn't have my headphones. And that's not been great. That's been very dysregulating for me. So I haven't been playing as much, but so this past weekend where it's been just me, I've basically had YouTube like on auto play of everyone's content, trying to catch up. I have a couple more vlogs to catch up on, and then I'll be like there. So, what have I been obsessing over? Oh, yeah. So I started a Pixel. If you are new to Pixels, they are like diamond art, but they're stickers. They're sticker sheets. And I put it off because I was like, I don't know if I'm going to like this. I've heard from people that it's very finicky, and I put it off because I was like, no, I don't really need another craft. I know I don't need another craft. But like, let me just like not do this. Well, I bought my cousin one over as a Christmas gift because they had a capybara design and she loves capybaras. So I was like, let me get her this because she likes diamond painting, and the capybara, it's a pixel. So it's a sticker sheet essentially. And so it's much smaller. So it's like, she might like this. I thought it would be a fun craft for her because she is crafty. It's like, let me add, and they had a bookmark set of a fire tower, and Taters loves fire towers related to her job. So I was like, well, let me get the bookmark set because it's also on sale and I like the design. And this is like a pretty easy way for me to test this out. Well, I should have known. I should have known. You silly goose. Of course I love it. Of course I think it's great. I was like, oh, this is good. This is diamond art, but it's like movable. Like I can take it with me. And I really, what I like about it is I can sit on the couch and do it more easily, because since I work on these big projects, it's very difficult for me to do them on the couch at our current setup. But pixels are small. Yeah. So like, I'm glad I have this information. Did I need this information? No. Did my wallet need this information? Definitely not. So I'm trying really hard to not buy anymore until I finish the bookmark set. I'm saying like, no, you are not going to stash these, because if you work on them, then you're not diamond painting and you already have a huge diamond painting stash. So no, you can only have them when you finish, or like if I'm traveling, like a big trip, that I can't take diamond kits on, because I don't really do mini kits. I don't know what it is. Something about mini dazzles. Like, I think they're cute, but like, I don't really know what to do with them. So I don't buy them. I know I don't get it either, but I don't. So I don't buy them. So I've told myself, okay, I can work on pixels when I travel instead of mini dazzles, or, you know, anything like that from like Paint and Gem or Pretty Little Gems or whatever. So I'm trying very hard to not, but I'm enjoying it. It's the first bookmark, which I'm still working on the first one. You can see the exact moment when I figure out how the heck you're actually supposed to place these things. Because the first part of it is ratchet. It is some janky ass placement. It's just not cute. It's not cute. The first section of it, but it's okay because it's learning, and the second chunk of it is looking much better. And I started with the bookmark that I liked the least. I did that on purpose. I need new drills. It's time. I'm almost out. Oh my God. See, this is how many bags of this color that I still have to get through. This is the outline color. I need more. So the placement of my pixels is a little janky, but that's what I've been obsessing over. Reading, eating, playing, obsessing over. What's R? I do this every time. Recommending. What am I recommending? I am recommending that we remember that January is a time for rest. I'm recommending that people not beat themselves up if they feel the urge to rest and recover right now, because January is not typically a time of motivation and energy. That's what spring is for. That's what March is for. January is a great time to reflect on the year and decide how you want to move forward, or at least consider how you want to move forward. But you don't have to make these grand plans and these great resolutions. You can say, you know, this is a goal that I want to work towards this year, but you don't have to get there. Wow, that was way too many drills. Let me pour some out. So that's what I'm recommending, is essentially give yourself some grace and recognize that it's okay if you don't have the year figured out. Or if you're like, oh no, like I want to do this resolution, but I'm not ready or I need to try it again, that is fine. It's fine if it takes you a couple times. There's a lot more time in a year. Like, it's okay. Okay. I probably shouldn't have done all of that. See, I'm still just making a mess. Oh my goodness. And then T for treating. How am I treating myself this week? That's a good question. Normally I like to treat myself with like a coffee, like a flavored coffee or something. I enjoy silly flavored coffees. But we're in January, so like most people aren't coming out with like fun flavors right now. How am I going to treat myself this week? I think I'm just going to keep taking tomorrow, other than the vet visit, to just do my own thing, to purge the house a little bit, but then probably diamond paint a lot. And maybe I'll record something else tomorrow. Who am I? Who is she? Was she going to record twice in a week? We don't know. These are big statements. But I think that's how I'm going to treat myself this week. So I'm going to wrap up from there. Thank you so much for hanging out and for listening to this ramble. If you have any thoughts about anything that I just said, let me know in the comments. If there's anything you want to talk about more, I would love to. Truly, if you have any ideas for how to like build in personal accountability so that I film more often, would really appreciate that insight, because I do want to. I don't like that it's so long in between making videos. It's not how I want this channel to be. I want to hang out and talk to y'all more regularly. Oh my goodness. But I've always been like this. I've always had this problem, and I haven't figured out how to like work around it. Anyway, I'm going to go. Thank you again for hanging out. I hope you have a wonderful rest of whatever time it is for you. And I hope to I hope to talk to you again soon.